welcome to the 13th episode of Coach Toya Live. I'm your host, Coach Toya. I am a credit and financial coach who helps aspiring homeowners get their credit together and get their finances together and increase their credit scores. So tonight, interesting conversation. We're going to pivot a little bit. The goal of my show is to make sure that I tackle everything that's finances related. So, most of my clients, as I've said previous times on the show, most of my clients are single parents, single moms. And those moms are at a place in their life where they're trying to get their finances together and they're realizing that, they're struggling, whether it be saving enough money for down payments or qualifying for a home and getting their credit together and not having extra money and all the things that come along with managing a household on just one income. And what's happening now that you will see with the rising rents, a lot of clients are coming to me trying to purchase homes because they can no longer afford rent. And whether it be they can't afford the monthly rent or they can't even qualify because in a lot of areas you have to make 3 times the rent, we're finding ourselves in some serious problems. Okay, so with that being said, we kind of have to have the conversation that we don't want to have. People are talking about it, but nobody really wants to deal with the single mom issue and what causes that. And why are Black women the least likely to get married in their lifetime? So in order to have this conversation, because I feel like if we don't talk about it, if I don't do my part, then I'm a part of the problem. So I wanted to find someone to have this conversation with. And I wanted to find a man who was, as I would call him, unapologetically man. And that person was Brian Gardner. So I wanted to bring him in. I called him and I'm like, Brian, I need you. I need you to have a conversation. And I need us to really have a conversation about what's going on and really point out some of the issues. And yes, we're going to tackle Black women tonight. And I want people to understand you got to put your big girl pants on tonight. Some things are going to be hard to hear. But I ask you to just sit through it and really listen to some of the things that's going to be discussed. And let's see if maybe we can figure out a way to kind of bring hope back into our dating situations, because it seems like Black women don't trust Black men and Black men don't trust Black women. And this is causing all sorts of issues. So, Brian, I know I have talked a lot. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm kind of nervous about having this conversation. I know we had talked a while about doing it. We talked about this probably months ago. And I decided to say, you know what, I think now is the time to do this. So what are your thoughts?
Okay. Let me give an audience a bit of a background. I am Brian Gardner in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a 25-year real estate appraiser, 15-year landlord, and very opinionated, Mr. Controversial,
absolutely,
Mr. Offensive, backgrounds in economic and public policy, and they actually mesh together for what we're talking about this evening.
Okay.
Now we had started talking about Dr. Umar Johnson versus Kevin Samuel.
Yep.
And I started going into a story about Notre Dame football.
Okay.
Now Notre Dame is one of the premier prestigious football teams in this country. And several years ago, they had a black coach, gentleman named Tyrone Willingham. And when asked why they hired him, the athletic director gave what I would be a fabulous answer. He said, we didn't go out looking for the best black coach. We went out looking for the best coach, and he just happened to be black. My point is to say everybody takes the best available option. So when the person is choosing a car, choosing a house, choosing a college, choosing a spouse, they select their best available option. Do I need to go further on that, or okay?
So that leaves the question.
Yes.
What we talked about, and the reason. So we've got two opposing sides. You've got Dr. Umar Johnson, who's Pan-Africanist, who is by all means marry black, because who you choose to marry is not only a political decision, it's a financial decision. And he explains that most of the time, the wife will outlive the spouse. I'm sorry. Yes, the wife will outlive the spouse. The husband. So when he passes away, he leaves his finances to her. If he is married outside of his race, she is going to take that money and disperse it to her family and her community. Very rarely is she going to disperse that money into the black community. Hence the reason it's weakening political power, et cetera, et cetera. And then you've got your Kevin Samuels and others, your O'Shea, Duke Jackson. Then again, I can't take that. I take that back because I'm not sure, because I think O'Shea is a little Pan-Africanist as well. But some of your men in the manosphere are saying, look, we're done. We're done sacrificing our happiness and dealing with the attitudes and the being belittled, and the fact that a lot of black women just don't seem to want us at certain phases in our lives. We're just going to say the heck with it. We're going to go and we're going to marry outside of our race. As a matter of fact, there's a movement now where men are getting passports and going outside of the United States to find their wives. So this is getting big.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I guess we have to figure out, what can we as black women do to compete so that our men could stop?
Okay. Let's get this big on the song.
Okay.
I have a good friend of mine who gave me a story. I won't go into the great detail, but I'll just share how it comes down this scenario. Most women look at a man and ask herself, why is it in my best interest to be with him? The problem is they can't answer the question of why should he be with her. If a man wants to be with me, he's got to have this, got to have that, got to have the other. He's got to have this degree, this salary. Okay. And why? Because I'm not going to get beneath me. He's got to be on my level. He's got to be where I am or better. And men are saying, okay, if he's got to be above you, then isn't he by definition dating down to be with you? In the business world, there's a concept called Pareto efficiency. Win-win scenario. What a woman has to do of any race, particularly black women, is he has to present being with her as a win for both of them, instead of just as a win for her. Are we good with that?
There seems to be a little echo on yours, so I don't know if you should maybe turn it down or.
It is.
I'm not sure. We can probably try that.
All right, give me a moment.
All right. Thank you for that comment. He'll be right back. Hopefully that'll fix the issue.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you. Maybe turn up the volume just a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. And like I said, thank you for letting me. My watchers always let me know when there's something going on. Okay, continue.
Fantastic.
Um,
Um,
it's got
it's
to be a
got to be a
win-win.
win-win.
It's got
It's
to
got
work
to
for
work for
both
both
parties.
parties.
And
And
I
I
referenced
referenced
that
that
Notre
Notre
Dame
Dame
to say
to say
this.
this.
Everybody
Everybody
takes
takes
their best
their best
available
available
option.
option.
So
So
what you
what
have
you
to
have
do
to
is
do
be
is be
better
better
than the
than
next
the next
available
available
option.
option.
One more
One
thing I
more
would
thing
say
I would
about
say
this,
about this:
I kind
I
of look
kind of
at
look at
dating
dating
like
like
affirmative
affirmative
action.
action.
For
For
most
most
black
black
men,
men,
black
black
women
women
will
will
get
get
priority
priority
consideration.
consideration.
They
They
will
will
not
not
get
get
monopoly
monopoly
consideration.
consideration.
Mm.
You will be
You will be
first.
first.
You won't
You
be
won't
only.
be only.
And that's where the problem comes in, because we're not.
But is it a
But is it a
problem?
problem?
Well, I would say it's a problem because we don't understand how to be competitive. I know
Mm,
how to be competitive when it comes down to getting a man. We can be competitive in our career options. We can be competitive in maybe some sports, but it's something about being competitive, getting a man, that we struggle with. And I
Well,
don't
here's
well,
the
here's the
thing.
thing.
understand what
It's
areas
It's
we
really
need to focus on.
it's about
it's about
adding
adding
value.
value.
I will
I
say
will
this,
say this,
and I will
and I
keep
will
saying
keep
this.
saying this.
The
The
term
term
for a
for a
woman
woman
that can
that
add
can add
value to a
value to a
man's
man's
life
life
is called
is called
wife,
wife,
and that's a
and that's a
permanent.
permanent.
The
The
woman that
woman
adds
that adds
temporary
temporary
comfort,
comfort,
that's the
that's the
girlfriend.
girlfriend.
That's the
That's
side
the side
piece,
piece,
the jump
the
off.
jump off.
So you
I
want to
broke
I
the
broke the
internet
internet
go
years
ahead.
years
ago.
ago.
Oh,
Oh,
are we okay?
are we okay?
Yep, we're okay.
Somebody asked
Somebody
the
asked the
question,
question:
why
why
did a
did
man
a
marry
man
a
marry a
certain
certain
woman?
woman?
To the
To
men
the
that are
men that are
married,
married,
why did you
why
marry
did you
your
marry
wife?
your wife?
My
My
happily
happily
divorced
divorced
best
best
friend
friend
gave me
gave
his
me his
answer.
answer.
Mm.
As a
As a
husband,
husband,
you are
you are
legally
legally
accountable
accountable
for
for
every
every
decision
decision
your wife
your wife
has
has
made,
made,
makes,
makes,
and is
and
going
is
to
going
make.
to make.
Whether you
Whether
like
you
them or
like them
not,
or not,
whether you
whether
know
you
them or
know them
not,
or not,
you are
you are
blindly
blindly
co-signing
co-signing
their
their
entire life.
entire life.
So
So
for a woman
for
to
a
get
woman to get
married,
married,
she has to
she has to
convince
convince
him
him
that he
that
can
he can
trust her.
trust her.
If you
If you
have
have
anybody
anybody
involved in
involved in
education,
education,
what is the
what is the
best
best
indicator
indicator
of
of
future
future
behavior?
behavior?
Typically,
Typically,
Fast
past
behavior.
past
behavior.
behavior.
So
So
women who
women
come
who
to the
come to the
table
table
with a
with a
track
track
record
record
of
of
important
important
decisions
decisions
made with
made
bad
with bad
judgment,
judgment,
bad
bad
credit,
credit,
bankruptcies,
bankruptcies,
high
high
debt,
debt,
STDs,
STDs,
2-3
two, three
kids
kids
by two,
by
three
2, 3
different
different
baby
baby
daddies.
daddies.
We're
We're
establishing a
establishing a
track
track
record.
record.
And the
And
guy
the
is looking
guy is
at
looking
that and
at
is
is
asking
asking
himself the
himself the
question,
question:
is it
is it
smart
smart
for me to
for me to
mesh my
mesh
life
my
with
life
hers?
with hers?
And it
And
is
it
that
is that
simple.
simple.
Wow. But I'm sure there's some other things. Like you said, add value. So what are some things that the Black woman can do to add value? Because I used to think, until I was told, I made money, I'm educated, I should be able to get who I want. And I realized that men don't look at money. They don't care about my income. So if they don't care about my money and my status, what do they care about?
Well, we do
Well, we
care
do
about
care
your
about your
appearance,
appearance,
and
and
we
we
don't
don't
really
really
care
care
about
about
the
the
upper
upper
echelon
echelon
of
of
education.
education.
For
For
example,
example, My
My
wife
wife
holds
holds
4 college degrees: associates, bachelor's, law
law
degree,
degree,
master's of
master's
business
of business
administration.
administration.
The law
The law
degree
degree
doesn't mean
doesn't
much
mean much
to me.
to me.
The
The
salary that
salary that
comes
comes
with being
with
an
being an
attorney
attorney
didn't mean
didn't
much to
mean
me.
much to me.
The
The
stick-to-itiveness
stick-to-itiveness
to
to
get
get
those
those
degrees,
degrees.
that's what
That's
I
what I
wanted.
wanted.
I'm
I'm
expecting
expecting
her
her
to keep
to
on
keep on
doing
doing
what she's
what
been
she's been
doing
doing
to be
to
where
be
she
where
is.
she is.
And I
And I
expect
expect
baby
baby
mamas
mamas
with the
with the
bad
bad
credit
credit
to keep
to
on
keep on
doing
doing
what they've
what
been
they've been
doing
doing
to be where
to be
they
where
are.
they are.
Wow.
That's not too
That's
harsh,
not too
is it?
harsh, is it?
No, it's not too harsh. But there are the women who feel, and we see it all the time, who feel like their children should not be a hindrance to a man.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have to admit, I used to feel the same way. I'm like, but mine are good.
No,
So what
No,
do you
no,
say to that
no.
woman
no.
who's like, look, I've got kids, but they're well mannered and I take care of them because I make enough money to take care of my own kids. So still
Doesn't
pick
matter.
Doesn't
those.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And here's
And
why.
here's why.
That
That
comparative
comparative
market,
market,
is there
is there
a
a
woman
woman
with all
with
of
all of
your
your
positive
positive
features,
features?
your
Your
beauty,
beauty,
your
your
intelligence,
intelligence,
your
your
education,
education,
your
your
income,
income,
but no
but no
kids?
kids.
Does such a
Does such a
woman
woman
exist?
exist?
And
And
is she
is she
available to that
available to
man?
that man?
If the
If
answer
the
is
answer
yes,
is yeah,
that's
that's
where he's
where
going to
he's
go.
gonna go.
Have you ever
Have
heard
you
me
ever
talk
heard me
about
talk
the
about the
lions?
lions?
I don't remember.
I have two
I have two
stories.
stories.
Okay. I don't know what if you told me one of them or not, but let's go.
Okay, if you've
Okay,
ever
if you've
seen
ever seen
National
National
Geographic,
Geographic,
a group
a
of
group of
lions is
lions
called the
is called the
pride.
pride.
Okay.
There's
There's
usually
usually
about
about
4,
4,
5,
5,
6
6
lionesses
lionesses
and one
and
male
one
lion.
male lion.
So
So
when
when
a
a
male
male
lion
lion
comes
comes in
and takes
and
over the
takes over the
pride,
pride,
he is
he is
challenged
challenged
and
and
defeated
defeated
the
the
existing
existing
male.
male.
And
The
kill
The
first
first
thing he
thing he
does
does
is kill
is
the
kill the
cubs that are
cubs that
not
are not
his.
his.
Yeah.
Survival of the
Survival of the
fittest.
fittest.
He's not going
He's
to
not
kill
going to
his
kill his
cubs.
cubs.
He's going to
He's
kill
going
that
to kill
other
that other
guy's
guy's
cubs.
cubs.
So
So
it's
it's
actually
actually
admirable,
admirable
but
but
unnatural
unnatural
for a
for a
man
man
to
to
want
want
to take
to
care of
take care of
another
another
man's
man's
kids.
kids.
It takes a
It takes
special
a
man to
special
do
man
it
to do it
because most
because
guys
most
would
guys
rather
would rather
start their
start their
family
family
with
with
somebody else.
somebody else.
One of my
One of my
boys
boys
says,
says
"Simpsons,
something.
no offense,
No offense.
I'm taking.
you're
You're
dealing
dealing
with
with
not just
not
the
just the
mother,
mother,
but you're
but you're
dealing with
dealing with
the
the
kids,
kids,
potentially the
potentially
kids'
the kids'
fathers.
fathers.
It's like
It's like
multiple
multiple
regression
regression
analysis.
analysis.
How many
How
different
many different
relationships are
relationships are coming
into this
into this
scenario
scenario
versus
versus
let me just
let
go
me
get
just
the
go get the
girl who's
girl
got
who's
no
got no
encumbrances on her
encumbrances on her
time
time
and
and
attention.
attention.
There's another
There's
thing
another
I've
thing
said
I've said
or I've
or
heard.
I've heard.
No
No
matter
matter
what
what
that man
that man
does,
does,
he will
he will
never,
never,
ever
ever
be
be
that
that
woman's
woman's
number one
number one
consideration.
consideration.
You're
You're
always behind
always
the
behind the
kids,
kids,
the
the
dog,
dog,
the
the
cat,
cat,
the
the
kitchen
kitchen
sink.
sink.
He is
He is
never
never
a
a
priority.
priority.
What he
What
can
he
do
can
for
do for
her
her
is a
is a
priority.
priority.
What he can
What
do
he
for
can do
her
for her
kids
kids
is a
is a
priority.
priority.
But he
But
is
he is
never
never
a
a
priority.
priority.
Why
Why
put
put
yourself up
yourself up
to that?
to that?
Just go
Just
date
go date
somebody else.
somebody else.
Yeah, it's kind of a kick in the stomach, but I can definitely understand that position. So what
Yeah.
about other issues that you see? We see that there's a lot of single mom. So women are coming to relationships or trying to be picked for marriage, having children, and we know that can be a hindrance. But what are some other things that you have found to be things that help to keep Black women single? And when I say single, I mean unmarried, because I'm noticing a lot of us have a plethora of sexual attention, male attention. So we confuse that with options. So also we want to talk about that too, because I think we have an inflated view of our situation. That's really not the case.
True.
True.
I've said
I've
this
said this a lot of
times.
times.
Women
Think, though,
I'm in
high
high
demand.
demand. I can always pick up a guy. Well, to come fuck you, yes.
Yes.
But to
But to
marry
marry you,
no.
no.
And
And
usually
usually
what
what
happens
happens
is
is this.
women will
Women will
say,
say, I'm single
because I know
because I know what I'm worth.
No,
No.
you don't know
You don't know your worth.
You know your
You know
price.
your price.
And by
And
definition,
by definition,
if
if
nobody's willing to pay that price,
then
you
you
can't
can't be worth it.
This is
This is that.
it's that
It's
simple.
that simple.
Wow.
I can
I can
always
get a guy.
Who?
Who?
What caliber?
What caliber man?
You know, you're
You're
talking
talking
about the
the
vice
vice
president,
president of the bank
or the
or the
janitor
janitor
of
of the bank.
What do you
What
think
do you think you
get?
can get?
And
And
another
another
thing
thing
to
to
have
have
opportunity
opportunity
cost.
cost.
This is
This is
something
something
that a lot of
women
women hate.
hate.
And I've
And
said
I've
this
said this a number of times.
Think of the
Think
man
of the
you
man
want.
you want.
His
His
features,
features,
his
his
qualities,
qualities,
his
his
characteristics.
characteristics.
Now think
Now
of the
think of the
women
women
that are
that are
available
available
to
to
them.
them.
Now why should
Now,
that
why
man
should that man want
you
you
instead of
instead of
one
one
of
of them?
them? What do you
What
bring
do you
to
bring
the
to the
table
table
that's
that's
different?
different
Other than
other
another
than
man's
another man's
kids?
kids?
Ooh, that was a low blow, Brian.
No, it's
No,
called
it's
product
called product
differentiation.
differentiation.
Right.
You've got to
You've got to
separate
separate
yourself.
yourself.
I don't know
I
if
don't
you're a
know if you're a
sports
sports
fan.
fan.
Last week was
Last
the
week was the
NFL
NFL
draft.
draft.
On
On
Wednesday, a lot of
a lot
guys
of
were
guys were
21 years
21
old
years old
and broke
and broke
students.
students.
24 hours
24 hours
later,
later,
they were
they were
multimillionaires.
multimillionaires.
The
The
quantity of women
of women
available
available
to that
to that
man
man
just went
just
through the
went
roof.
through the roof.
Behavior is a
Behavior is a
function of
function of
available
available
options.
options.
Always has
Always
been,
has
always
been,
will
always
be.
will be.
So, to the women who feel like I'm the prize, he should be chasing me. You know, I don't want to settle. I don't need to settle. What do you say to them?
Well, you don't
Well, you
have
don't
to.
have to.
I'm an
I'm an
economist by
economist by
education.
education.
Business
Business
occurs where
occurs where
supply meets
supply meets
demand.
demand.
There's nothing
There's
that
nothing
says
that
they
says
ever
they
have
ever
to meet
have
at
to meet
all.
at all.
So
So
if you
if
think
you
you're the
think you're the
prize,
prize,
your
your
market of
market of
available
available
options
options
will
will
dictate that.
dictate that.
So
So
again,
again,
if you
if
put
you
your
put your
price so
price so
high
high
that
that
nobody's willing
nobody's willing to
to pay,
pay,
then you
then
become
you become
inventory.
inventory.
You stay on
You
the
stay on the
shelf.
shelf.
Which
The
The
market is
market
never
is never
wrong.
wrong.
I'm loving
I'm
this.
loving this.
I know. I'm trying to think, what else can I add? What can we do, Brian? So to those of us, we have kids. Okay, we've made that. I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but we've done that. So we got to check that box. The value's lowered a little bit. What can we? Is there anything we can do? We've kind of hit the wall where, probably late 30s, 40s, 50s.
Well,
Is it
you're
Well, you're
actually
what
actually
can we do to be more marketable if we're deciding that, look, I don't want to be out of the game yet. So what can we do?
well,
well,
you're not
you're
out of
not
the
out of the
game.
game.
You have
You
to
have
have
to
what I
have what I
call
call
market
market
adjusted
adjusted
expectation.
expectation.
Okay, what does that look like?
Well,
Well,
before the
before the
kids,
kids,
you might
you
have
might
got
have
that
got that
6'2"
6'2"
guy
guy
with the
with
three
the 3
college
college
degrees
degrees
making
making
125,000 a year.
a year.
You have
You
one
have
kid,
one kid,
you might
you might
get the
get
guy
the
with the
guy with the
bachelor
bachelor
making
making
80,000 a
80,000 a
year.
year.
You have
You
two
have two
kids,
kids,
you might
you
get the
might
guy
get the
make
guy make
that's
that's
5'9",
5'9",
make him
make him
45,000 a year.
45,000 a year.
Because the
Because
better
the
the
better the
man,
man,
the better
the
his
better
option.
his option.
I'm an
I'm an
economist. I
economist.
look
I
at
look at
everything
everything
in terms
in
of
terms of
supply and
supply and
demand.
demand.
Right.
And the
And the
problem that a
problem
lot
that a
of women
lot
are
of women are
having,
having,
particularly black
particularly black
women,
women,
and even
and
more
even more
specifically
specifically,
black women
black
in the
women in the
South,
South,
is that
is
they
that they
grew
grew
up
up
believing they
believing
were
they
in
were in
short
short
supply,
supply,
and they
and they
apply
apply
shortage of
shortage of
women
women
tactics
tactics
in a
in a
surplus of
surplus of
women
women
market.
market.
It won't
It
work.
won't work.
It can't
It
work.
can't work.
Market
Market
adjusted
adjusted
expectations.
expectation.
If I've
If I've
asked for this and didn't
and
get
didn't
it,
get it,
then I might
then
have
I
to
might
knock
have
it
to knock
down.
it down.
And if you
And
get
if
to
you
the
get to the
point where
point where you just,
I'd rather
I'd
be by
rather be by
myself
myself
than be by
than be by
yourself.
yourself.
And then we have to have another conversation. We're going to have to start thinking about financially, how can that work? Because if we're not going to if we're not going to partner with a man and we're not going to partner with a woman, we got to partner with somebody if we're going to live. So
Not
that
really.
Not really.
starts kind of thinking about other ways of survival.
That's
that.
it's a
It's a
lifestyle
lifestyle
where you have to
where you have to
separate your
separate
needs
your
from your
needs from your
wants.
wants.
Hey, I
Hey,
might
I
want
might
that
want that
5-bedroom house.
five-bedroom house.
You might
You
have
might
to get the
have to get the
4-bedroom
four-bedroom
or the
or the
3-bedroom.
three-bedroom.
You want
You
the
want the
5-year-old house
5-year-old
on the
house
big
on the
hill.
big hill.
You might have
You
to
might
get
have
the
to get the
25-year-old
25-year-old
house
house
on the
on the
small hill.
small hill.
Market
Market
adjusted
adjusted
expectations.
expectations.
There is
There
another
is
thing
another
I'm
thing
going
I'm
to
gonna jump in here,
and I'm going to
and
go
I'm gonna go
between
between
money
money
and
and
policy.
policy.
Okay.
I
I
actually think
actually think
women
women
have done
have done
themselves a
themselves a
disservice.
disservice.
Okay.
Family
Family
law
law
basically
basically
fucks men
fucks
every
men
day.
every day.
And the
And the
common
common
response is
response is
always,
always,
you knew the
you knew
risk.
the risk.
One of the
One of
things
the things I was saying
the other
the
day,
other day,
alimony
alimony
versus child
versus child
support.
support.
Like, why
Like,
is the
why is the
standard of
standard of
fairness
fairness
for
for
dividing
dividing
liability
liability
proportionate to
proportionate to
income?
income?
But the
But the
standard of
standard of
fairness for
fairness for
dividing
dividing
assets is
assets is
50-50.
50-50.
Seems like it
Seems
got to
like
be
it got to be
one
one
or the
or
other,
the other,
but not
but
both.
not both.
Man makes
Man
most of
makes
the
most of
money.
the money.
He pays
He
most of
pays
the
most of the
bills.
bills.
They split
They
up.
split up.
That money
That money
that used to
that
be
used to be
his
his
is now
is now
theirs.
theirs.
American
American policy
for
for
years
years
has
has
said
said
her
her
income
income
is hers,
hers.
his
His
income is
income is
theirs.
theirs.
And I heard
And I heard a
woman
woman
say
say
something,
something,
a
a
divorced
divorced
woman, and
woman.
the
And the
question was,
question
why
was,
didn't
why
you
didn't you
fight for your
fight for your
marriage?
marriage?
And the
And the
answer
answer
was,
was,
all I
all
needed
I
him to
needed
do
him to
was
do was
provide for
provide
me.
for me.
And of
And
course,
of
we're going
course,
to
we're
make
going to
him do
make him
that
do that
anyway.
anyway.
So why
So why
bother?
bother?
I have
I
said
have
that
said
the
that the
American
American
wife
wife
is the
is
only
the only
job
job
where you
where
can
you can
quit
quit
or get
or get
fired,
fired,
yet still
yet still
command the
command the
salary.
salary.
So would you say this is the reason a lot of I don't know if a lot is the right word, but men are choosing to think twice about marriage?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That same
That same
divorce
divorce
friend I
friend I
talked
talked about
said this.
said this.
For a man
For
to
a man to get
married,
married,
he has
he
to
has
be
to be
willing to
willing to
act as
act
her
as her
husband,
husband,
even if
even
she
if she
stops
stops
acting as
acting
his
as
wife.
his wife.
Very few
Very
women
few
are worth
women are
that
worth
risk.
that risk.
Wow. kind of putting it in that perspective, it kind of, because I've had I've had this conversation with a guy before who said, look, help me understand how marriage would benefit me.
That's it.
That's it.
You can give me the answer to that. We can talk about
well,
it. And I'm like, I got nothing.
Well,
yes, you do.
You do.
You
You
do have something.
Like my
My wife,
I love her
dirty draw.
Her
Her
presence, her very existence enhances my quality of life. That's for me. My wife is the most emotionally generous person I've ever known. I didn't even know what that was until I met her. And what that means for me is a wife can be an expense. She cannot be a liability. Most women are comfortable being liabilities.
Explain that. In your what's your definition of a liability in terms of what you just said?
A liability
is when
that person takes away more than what they contribute. An expense is still something that you pay, but you value what you get in return.
Good point.
Like my student loan. I paid that back. It was an expense. But my college degree has paid for itself at least 25 times. My child support. I paid that for my baby mama to leave me alone. Child support, alimony, prostitution. Same core benefit. That's the money a man pays a woman he used to fuck to leave alone.
Never quite heard those things put together, Brian.
Core benefit. Got that from Charlie Sheen. The man doesn't pay the hooker to come over.
He pays her to leave.
He pays for her to leave.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Wow. This has been interesting. I can't think of any. I don't know if I can take much more. Can you think of anything else that you want to add or that's important to know while we're having this conversation? Because I think this is a conversation we're going to have to continue to have, and we can build upon this one. But anything else that you think women, Black women in particular, need to understand?
There is. And this is going to become a dangerous.
Okay.
You got to be a friend first. The woman with longer hair is not a threat. The woman with a prettier face is not a threat. The woman with a bigger butt is not a threat. The woman that can watch a football game, that's your threat. The woman that how do I put it? The woman that saw me drunk at the club and kept me from getting in that car. That's your threat. She's already passed his last line of defense. And I'm gonna give you the kryptonite. Nuclear launch code. You ready?
I'm ready.
A man will select a wife based on a number of criteria, but this is always on the list. Does she have my best interest at heart, even when she's mad at me? And that's why you will see that lawyer, that doctor get dumped. And that man marries that girl from Mississippi or South Carolina. The girl that can take $100 and feed the family for a week. That's the void he needed
filled.
So the
So
woman,
the woman that
says,
says,
hey,
"Hey,
I make $200,000. I can take you out for a $200
steak
dinner.
dinner.
I don't need
I
that.
don't need that.
I need
I
to
need
know
to
when
know
I
when
walk
I
out
walk
the
out the
door,
door,
my
my
family is
family is
taken
taken
care of.
care of."
That's the
That's the
value
value
you
you
can
can
have.
have.
Now, that's
Now,
just
that's
me.
just me.
Different people
Different
have
people have
different
different
values.
values.
But
But
what
what
value do
value
you
do you
add?
add?
How is
How
his
is his
life
life
better
better
with me
with
in it?
me in it?
So it looks like that should be the question that we need to know when we're kind of writing
Mhm.
that dating profile, is to know what the answer is to that question.
Well,
Well,
really, I
really, I
think it's a
think it's a
bit
bit
different,
different,
kind of in
kind of in
reverse.
reverse.
Is
Is
be
be
you.
you.
And if
And
there's
if
a
there's a
man
man
that
that
wants what
wants
you
what you
offer,
offer,
that's where you
that's where you
connect.
connect.
See, a lot
See, a
of
lot
women
of
will see
women
the
will see the
man that you
man that you
want
want
and then
and
try to
then try to
convince him
convince him
he
he
ought to
ought to
want her.
want her.
And it
And
usually
it
doesn't
usually
work.
doesn't work.
Can't fit
Can't
the
fit the
square
square
peg
peg
around the
around the
hole.
hole.
But I do think that we should work on being better individuals, better women
Yes.
Yes.
before, because we've been told that men want cooperation, that men want all of these different things and want feminine women. And some of us have been used to operating in our masculine energies, that we've got to unlearn all of that stuff in order to be, like, what's the word I'm looking for? In order to even be competitive. Because the
Let me give
Let me
you
give you
masculine
some.
women
some.
will leave every time. And I've always kind of wondered why, when I've looked at the kind of women that some men picked, you pick the woman who worked at McDonald's. She brings nothing to the table. And now I'm
Wrong.
starting
Wrong.
to understand
She's
why.
She's
bringing
bringing
something
something
that he
that
does
he does
value.
value.
Yeah.
And I would
And I would
challenge you with
challenge you
this.
with this.
Whenever you
Whenever
see
you see
couples
couples
that have been
that have been
married
married
30,
30,
40,
40,
50
50
years
years
and
and
ask them,
ask
why
him,
did
why
you
did you
select this
select
wife?
this wife?
There's something
There's something
I would
I
bet
would bet
both my
both my
nuts
nuts
that man
that
will
that man
say.
will say.
And it's
And
not
it's
her
not
hair.
her hair.
It's not her
It's not her
nails.
nails.
She's a
She's a
teammate.
teammate.
She's a
She's a
partner.
partner.
That's what
That's
you
what you
got
got
to
to
be.
be.
That's how you
That's
go
how you
from
go from
girlfriend to wife.
girlfriend to wife.
Can you
Can
be a
you be
good
a good
partner?
partner?
What does that look like, Brian, though? How do you show that in the dating phase?
In the
In
dating
the dating
phase,
phase,
I'm
I'm
looking at your
looking at your
decisions,
decisions
and I'm
and
actually
I'm
looking
actually
at why
looking
you
at
made
why you
them.
made them.
What was the
What was the
logic that
logic
you
that you
used?
used?
I'm looking
I'm
for a
looking
trace
for
of
trace of
partnership.
partnership.
And for
And
her,
for her,
is she
is
looking
she
for
looking for
partnership
partnership
or is she looking
or
for
is she looking for
sponsorship?
sponsorship?
Is she
Is
looking
she looking
for,
for,
I'm going to do
I'm
what
going
I
to do what I
want
want
and give you the
and give you the
bill?
bill?
That's not a
That's
wife
not a
material
wife
to me.
material to me.
Which brings me to
Which
my
brings me to
second
my
line
second
story.
line story.
And we can probably end on that one. That would be a good note.
All right.
All right.
Goes like
Goes
this.
like this.
Lions,
Lions,
Bears,
Bears,
Rams.
Rams.
And it's not
It's
football
not
team.
football team.
A
A
lioness
lioness
will see
will
two
see
male
two male
lions fight
lions fight
and fuck the
and
winner.
fuck the winner.
A
A
female
female
bear
bear
will see two
will see
male
two male
bears
bears
fight
fight
and fuck the
and
winner.
fuck the winner.
A
A
female
female
ram
ram
will see
will see
rams
rams
butting
butting
heads
heads
and fuck the
and
winner.
fuck the winner.
A
A
bad wife,
bad wife,
a woman
a
that will
woman
be
that
a
will be a
bad wife,
bad wife,
will see
will
two
see
men
two men
compete
compete
and fuck the
and fuck
loser.
the loser.
That's the
That's
big
the big
thing
thing
why baby
why baby
mamas have it
mamas
so
have it
hard.
so hard.
You're
You're
bringing
bringing
a bad
a bad
decision
decision
to the
to the
table
table
and
and
expecting me to
expecting me
deal
to
with
deal
it.
with it.
That's almost
That's
an
almost an
insult.
insult.
What else
What
can I
else
do for
can I
you?
do for you?
I think we can end on that note.
It is
I think
It is
always good to
always
see
good
you,
to see you,
Toya.
Toya.
it is always a pleasure pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on and chat with me because I, like we said before, a lot of women, and I know me personally, didn't have a father growing up. As a matter of fact, I didn't have men in my life until I started dating and got married. And I realized that I had no idea how men operated. I didn't know how they thought. I didn't know how to talk to them. I'm dealing with men like I'm dealing with my girlfriends. Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
For disaster every time. So I'm now learning as now I'm being quiet and I'm listening to men and finding men who have no sexual interest in me and being willing to just tell me the truth so that I can pass it on to other women, including my child, because I also have a 14-year-old daughter who hopefully will benefit from some of these talks so that she doesn't make the same mistakes that I did. So I'm grateful and honored that you are taking time out of your schedule to really help educate women. And I commend you for that. More men need to do that.
Quite
So
welcome.
Quite welcome.
I'm truly grateful.
Let me
And so-
also add this.
Yeah.
If you ever look at divorce court,
Yes.
there's an
There's an underlying
issue.
issue.
Don't
make me
regret
regret trusting you.
And
And
in family court, when a woman trusts the wrong man, she's a
she's a
victim.
victim.
When a man
When a
trusts
man
the
trusts the
wrong
wrong
woman,
woman,
nobody
nobody
gives
gives
a
a
shit.
shit.
That is the
That is
risk
the
a man
risk
takes
man
by
takes
getting
by getting
married.
married.
She has
She has to
to
be
be worth
worth
that
that
risk.
risk.
I told you
I
about
told you
that
about
court
that
case in
court case in
Florida,
Florida, right?
No, I don't think you did.
right? Parker versus
Parker
Parker out of
out of
Sanford,
Sanford,
Florida.
Florida.
Couples
Couples
married,
married,
have a
have a
child.
child.
Shortly after
Shortly
they
after
get
they get
divorced,
divorced,
man pays
man
child
pays child
support.
support.
Kid turns
Kid
about
turns about
2.
2.
Dad
Dad
notices kid doesn't
kid
look
doesn't
either
look
one of
either
them.
one of them.
Gets a
Gets a
DNA
DNA
test.
test.
Not his
Not
kid.
his kid.
Stops paying
Stops
child
paying child
support.
support.
Ex-wife takes him
Ex-wife
back
takes
to
him back
court.
to court.
The
The
Supreme Court of
Supreme
the
Court
state
of
of
the state of
Florida
Florida
told him,
told him,
you should have
you should have
known
known
your wife
your
could have
wife could have
cheated.
cheated.
And
And
children should
children
not have
should
to
not have to
suffer
suffer
when
when
adults mess
adults
up.
mess up.
So even
So even though
though
we know
it's not your
your
child,
child,
you still
you
have to
still
pay
have to
child
pay child
support.
support.
This is
This
kind
is
of what I
kind of
was
what I was
saying to your
saying to your
daughter.
daughter.
We live in
We
a
live in a
nation
nation
that
that
doesn't make
doesn't make
women be
women be
responsible for
responsible for
child. She does
she does
concede,
concede.
but we will
But we
make a
will make a
man be
man be
responsible
responsible
for a
for
child
a
he did
child he
not.
did not.
That doesn't
That
sound
doesn't
like
sound like
justice to me.
justice to me.
And the
And the
typical
typical
response is,
response is,
you knew the
you knew
risk.
the risk.
Fewer men
Fewer
are
men
willing
are
to take
willing to
that
take
risk.
that risk.
You got to be
You got to
worth
be
that
worth
risk.
that risk.
And that's
And
why I
that's why I
think women
think
have done
women have done
themselves a
themselves a
disservice.
disservice.
They have
They have
asked
asked
for a
for a
family law
family law
system that
system
is
that
so
is so
unfair
unfair
that the
that
men
the
you
men you
want won't
want
play
won't
this
play this
game.
game.
Like I told
Like I
my
told my
baby
baby
mama,
mama,
the man
the
that's
man
smart
that's
enough
smart
to be
enough
the
to be
man
the
you
man
want
you want
is too
is
smart
too
to want
smart to
you.
want you.
Ooh,
Market sets
Market sets
itself.
itself.
Even told
Even
her,
told her,
you find the
you
man
find the
that brings
man that
what I
brings
bring
what
to
I
the
bring to the
table,
table,
wants to be
wants
married
to be
to
married to
you,
you,
I'll pay for
I'll
the
pay for
wedding.
the wedding.
once again, Brian. I think we'll end on that note for real. All right.
I'm gonna stick
I'm gonna
around.
stick
I want to
around. I
talk to
want
you.
to talk to you.
All right. So much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week.